Hi all, it's Kylie from Kylie's Cardcraft. Thanks for joining me again today. Right, I'm still cleaning up. I'm always cleaning up. But this time I'm back to my favourites, envelopes. You know I love my envelopes if you've been following me for any length of time. And like most journalists, we tend to hoard envelopes. You want to see the amount of envelopes that I've got here. So what we're going to do today is we need 4 envelopes. They can be any size you like, but as long as they're all the same size. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. As I said before, any size you like, as long as they're the same size. So these ones, I don't know, they're just ones that I've pulled out of one of my drawers, are about 15 centimetres, not quite, about 5 3/4 inches by a bit over 11 centimetres or 4.5 inches. But they can be any size you like. So 4 envelopes, tick. We want 4 pieces of cardstock, scrapbook paper, anything like that. This is old Basil cardstock that I had floating around. As I said, I've been trying to get through my plain coloured cardstock as well. And we want 4 of those ones as well. About the same size as your envelopes. So I've done these ones a little bit larger and then I can trim off if need be. Always gives me that wiggle room. So that's 4 of those. We want 4 pieces to cover one side of each of our envelopes. Now, you know I like my book page. Here's a hint. Books like this, not necessarily the actual book cover, but books like this, which are Charlotte Bronte, any of the Bronte sisters, this one's Jane Eyre of course, are safe. Now what I mean by safe means that you don't have to look at the wording too much or at all with these sorts of ones. You know everything in there is going to be safe. So you're not going to come across some funny words or nasty words or anything else. So you know you don't have to worry about any type of words when you're using books like that. So I've got 4 of those. Now they're trimmed down. I'll just open this book again. So like, here's my book. So all I've done is I've taken them out and then I've trimmed them down to just the wording. Because I know for that it's going to fit these envelopes. So it works really well. So I want 4 of those. And then when I was cutting up, because I had scraps of 6-inch by 12-inch pieces of these, so I cut them down to about 4.5 inches to fit my envelopes, and I had a couple of pieces like that left of the 2. I'm keeping one of those as a pocket. Right, we're going to set that one aside, we're going to set that one aside, and we're going to work on these ones to start with. So, going to our first envelope, this will be the front cover of our little, what are we going to call it? Journal, ephemera holder, probably an ephemera holder more than anything. So our little ephemera holder. Front cover, we're just going to leave that to start with. We're going to go over to our first envelope. We're going to leave this bit out. We don't want to cut these off. We're just going to leave it out. And we're going to use one of our sheets. And we're just going to cover that. We're going to leave this bit as a pocket. It's up to you if you want to pop a thumb hole or something in there. I'm not going to worry about it. So all I'm going to do is glue around this envelope all the way around, and we're going to cover this piece with one of our Jane Eyre pages. Now I can see this envelope doing that actually comes above that fold line. So when I'm popping this sheet on, I don't want to go above that fold line, remember. So I'm going to knock it down a little bit, and if I need to trim it off, I will trim it off once I've got this on. So glue stick, glue, Mod Podge, whatever your poison is type thing with your glues, use anything you like. So we're going to go that way. It's the flap to the right, this is the top. So I'm going to actually leave my Charlotte Bronte piece on there, and I'm going to line it up with the top of, with the open section of my envelope, and then I can trim off this section. So I'm just going to push that down like so, and then we're just going to trim around. I'm just going to grab my little pushy thing and go around. So I'm going to grab some big scissors for that. Nice straight long big scissors, and I'm just going to follow around my envelope, making sure you don't cut any of that folded section of your envelope. So that's one. We're going to do that with the other 3 envelopes as well on that side. So the opening side of our envelope. So there's one. Now our second one, pop that one away. Our second one's going to go that way, so that our fold is to the left. So this time I'm going to have it so that my wording is at the top that way, and I'm going to go down that way, okay? So that they're mirror imaged of each other, I suppose would be the best way to put it. We don't want them all running the same way. We're going to mirror image. That's out a little bit. We'll just glue that down. But yes, by all means, if you want to use a glue stick, use a glue stick, but we're not gluing in there at all, because we want this to become a pocket. If you're going to use a glue stick, it's quite easy to use the glue stick. Get a piece of scrap paper and pop in there so that you don't run the risk of gluing onto this surface. Right. So this time we're going to go that way. Again, I want my Jane Eyre in that one. Take it down to that fold line, or just a bit below it actually. There we go. Give that a good push. Like so. And do the same. Cut around it. I said I'm going to start using all this scrap that I've got around. I'm making more scrap as I'm going, but... So there's that one. With that one, pop those 2 aside. Do the same, exactly the same with the next 2. So that one's going to go that way. I've come to the conclusion that when I'm anxious or stressed, I organise. And I don't know. Is everybody else like that as well? I don't know. But I organise. And it could be a kitchen cupboard. It's usually not. But it could be. It could be the linen cupboard. Mostly it is this room. Probably because when I'm anxious or I'm stressed, I don't have the brain capacity to come up with creative ideas and all the rest. But I like to be in here. So I like that one. I wonder if that one will work. It will. I'll get that. No, because the pocket's I'm gonna lose it with the pocket. I want that one that way, don't I? So anyway, so what I tend to do is I organise. And it doesn't matter how well we think we've organised to what is working, what system works for us and all the rest, and we've come across this awesome storage system. As we change with our craft or whatever else, a new things in that craft, pick our mind and we go, oh, I want to play with this more now. We need to rearrange all the time anyway. I've come to the conclusion that there can never be the perfect storage. Never. I don't know, maybe it's a me thing. Maybe it is a me thing and you have no idea what I'm waffling on about. But for me, I will come up with what I think is just perfect. This works a treat. And then no. It could be a month, it could be a year, it could be whatever. But within time, I will find that just does not work for me anymore and I have to rearrange. But I like the rearranging side of it. I really do, I've decided. And I think some days I have more fun in here rearranging, resorting, than actually creating. Like, don't get me wrong, I hadn't been in here creating for ages. We've got so much going on at work at the moment. So I'd, been just rearranging, doing other things, playing around in here. And then last week, I came in and sat at my desk, and yeah, I came up and I made up this and all the rest. So this has been sitting on my desk, finished, for over a week now. I have the finished one over there, I'll show you later. But it's been sitting there on my desk for over a week, finished. But I sat down and played and rearranged and played with my envelopes. And I said to my son afterwards, I'd forgotten just how much joy I get from sitting here and playing with all this. Because everything else, life happens. And when life happens, don't give it away. Don't just, leave it, sell it off or whatever else. Just put it aside. Play with your stuff, reorganise your stuff, sort your stuff. Can't say I threw anything out. Can't really say I donated anything. I just removed, rehoused, reworked until all of a sudden I wanted to sit back down at my desk. And the joy that gave me that night of just sitting in here playing, cutting, gluing, tracking down stickers and ephemera and all the rest was just amazing. So I've had my little waffle now. Thank you for listening. And one day, I know I'm going to do a studio tour, which is my room. But every time I think that I'm going to do that, I get into that thing of wanting to rearrange again. Now, when I rearrange, I end up with the biggest mess behind me on my seat here, because everything goes on the floor. And I might go back to it straight away, and then I might think about it for a couple of days. So when I get to a point where I've got at least 50% of the floor clear, I'll do a little tour and show you my setup here for what works for me at the moment. Just at the moment, because it's going to change. And it'll probably change 5 more times this year. And it's only February, so easily change. Right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We now have pockets in each of these envelopes. Okay, now we want our little ones of these. Now these little guys, I'm actually going to ink down one side to start with, because I may, do I want the plain side, do I want the pattern side? No, we'll go plain. I'll start to ink that one now. Not the pattern, you know what I mean. That's going to go that way. And because these are plain, there's no up or down with them. They're just nice and easy. That one's going to go there. That one has got a pencil mark, so I'll go that way, because I know that my pencil mark will be cut off when I trim this down. And I'm going to go that way. Right, so I've just given them a little bit of an ink down the side. So what I'm going to do with these, if I can shut the ink up there, go back to 2 of these. So I've got this one, and this is going to go just here to make my other side. This will get glued onto it this time. So back with my glue. Again, you can use a glue stick if you like. No pocket this time, it's just wholly and solely gluing that down to there. And I find the easiest way is to sit this on here so that we're up. I've got an area to trim if I can find 2 sides that'll match. Always remember that most envelopes are slightly out of whack anyway. So that'll go down that. If we turn this over, you'll see that it's everywhere. So trimming that one up. Like that. And then we can ink around the rest of them. Again, making sure you don't cut into your envelopes. Right, there's one. This one would be this one. So I want that way so that my inked edge is in here. I'm going to glue this bit so that that folds over onto it like that. Trim around this one. You can see this one's nearly right against there. Right, so that's that side, like that. That one will be like that. Right, same with these ones, exactly the same thing. Making sure that's down just a little bit. Right, trimming that one and the other one. I'll ink around those plain coloured cardstocks. So now we've got that one, which is that way, that one, which is that way. Let's ink around these. Right. That one away, that one away. Now this one, these two cardstock ones are going to be attached together as a pocket. So we're going down. Probably should be using my thinner tip, but that's all right. Like so. Not very straight, am I? Here we go. Joining them together. Let's see how well they line up. Just going to undo that way, and I can see what's going on, how much glue I've got. And I'm just going to grab a couple of clips just to hold that one in while I'm doing my next one. Right, we're going to do exactly the same with this one. So we've got that one and that one going to be joined together. So joining them together, matching up our top corners, matching that one. I always tend to match this side, which would technically be my spine, because that bit you can't really hide with this sort of one. Whereas my side bits, if they're a little bit wonky, I can trim them if need be, or I can have things that hang out and fluff out and all the rest, which take the eye away. Right, so now I've got that one and that one. Just going to sit you on there while I'm waiting for this one to dry. I'm just going to go back to my front cover, which is, that one's my front cover, that one's my back cover. Okay, no it's not, that one's my back cover. We'll get onto that one in a minute once I get my fingernail cord out of there. So that one's my front cover, and I'm going to put a pocket on there. But what I want to do, I've got a little container full of my book pages and my vintage dictionaries, vintage newspapers, etc. So they just live permanently beside me. And I'm just going to ink up that side. Now, in my wanderings through my room, I found that I had, here we go, that one. Now, I had these. I had purchased these when they came out from Darkroom Door, which is no longer. Now, this came out in 2022, and I loved these so much, I purchased 2 packets. 2 packets. I did. I purchased 2 packets of these, and I've still got squillions and squillions and squillions because I just wouldn't use them. So that's what I've been using up. I've still got a few in here that I've got to cut. Most of them these days I have finally cut up so that I will use them, and I've got them here in my little photo one, which has these sorts of ones, or real photos, or photos out of books, things like that. So in here I should have some of the larger ones still, which where are you girls? There we go. Right, some of these. Now I found that these ones, which one do I want? I found that some of these ones actually fitted on here beautifully. And I wanted this as a pocket. So she's just going to sit on here. Pocket's going to be here. I've only got to trim her a little bit, so I'm going to put her flat on this side. A little bit of lace. Let's have a look. Little bit of vintage lace down there. No, it needs to be a little bit narrower with her. I'm going to lose her eye. Right side, wrong side. Right side might be that one. Just gently move it along. I don't want to stretch my lace. I just want to pop it on in place. Straighten it out as I go. Yes, I like that with her. She's a bit lighter. Trim that off. That'll go into my bits and pieces of lace that just when I'm doing a cluster or something like that. Right, and until I work out what I want on the front of that down here, I'm not going to attach the rest of that. So that's those ones. Move that one away so you've seen that one. And we're going to go back to our book. We've got our back page to do still. So this one, we've now got our front page. We've got a pocket. We've got some journaling if we want to journal. More journaling, more pocket. This one is going to attach to the first part of our other envelope, but as a pocket again. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this one again. Straight down. We're going to do the same as we did with our first one and our coloured cardstock when we joined those. We're going to join our two envelopes so that there's a gap at the top. Putting you down, checking you as we go. That's looking pretty straight. Happy with that. And that is that one. I'm just gonna... Beautiful. Just want to get those corners. And then that one will go up there. Right. So we've got that. We need to work out what we want to do to our backing. I'm going to use that one as a half pocket, which will go in here. But I want to give it a little bit of an oomph. So if I'm going to go down to my border punches, let me have a look. I use that one on the other one, so which I'll show you in a moment. Let's use that one this time. So all I'm going to do is punch all the way along one side. So what I've got here now is a pocket. Okay, so I can trim that bit off, which will bring it into the same width as that. Just gonna roughly do the edges just so that it stands out a little bit better. Like so. This one's going to go in here because we want this side to be nice and even because our pocket's going to cover that side. Okay. That will go in there like that. And then we'll trim around it. So I lied, we need 5 pieces if you want to use the same book page for all of it. Down like that. Down like that. It's done. How hard was that? Now I'll show you what it is that we've just created. Just ink all that, just so that it all blends in with it. Right. So what we've got is a little book. Okay. But this little book course has pockets in there. It also has pockets in here, there, and there. So I'll show you the one I did the other night when I was playing. So there she is. So I've popped on a nice big thing here because I didn't want her in a journal. I wanted her on her own. If you're going to put her in a journal, you would need to have something flatter there. So I've got, you can see she's been decorated. We've got pockets in here. We've still got our pockets down there. I've put pockets in here. And again, I've used all my little bits. I tend to have scraps sitting here that I stamp all the time. Okay. So they're just, when I've got scraps sitting on the table, I'll just sit here and stamp. So I've used lots of those. More pockets, 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 and so on and so forth. And still with my pockets down there. So let's fill this. And I've got everything sitting here ready to fill, which is really unusual for me, I know. But I told you I was having fun with it. So of course I've got my little pocket in here. Rolling this over, I've got a couple of tags. And again, I went through my cardstock. I had scraps of black cardstock. So lots of these I edged in the black. This was a stamp on another piece of that. Actually, it's some of the book page that didn't have any writing on it. That's been from one of those kits that I've had forever. So there's that one. I then went and got, I had some like little credit card size craft pieces. So I started covering those with my newspaper and old book pages and all the rest. Used more of that darkroom door set and started filling. Okay. And had a ball with it. So next page, I've done that again. That was an old book that's had a picture in it. That's another one of the darkroom door ones. That's an old book that had been coffee dyed. This one, I've got more of my ladies. That's a stamp. Been using up a lot of that black cardstock just to make them highlight out. Another one of them. That one was a stamp as well. Back to another one of these. I've got this one. That's a darkroom door one of a different series. That I don't know. I just have all these things. It's time to start using them. These were stickers that I had from something last year, the year before, or whatever else. Another darkroom door lady. And she may be a darkroom door lady. That's an old Stamperia double-sided cutout piece that I'd had sitting there thinking, I don't know if I'll ever use those, so I used it. This one, I've got her, and I've got her. She's a stamp as well. Going over here, I've got a book photo out of a book. Told you I used a different die, different punch in that one. That sits in there. And then I've got some bits to go in these. One. These are all just folded over out of those packets that I said I had. And I've missed one. So let's find another one for that one. Okay. Let's find another one. Oh, let's have a look at that. And I'm looking for that one. Just make it look like it's been folded in there for a while. That's looking better. Doesn't look like it's straight out of a notebook now. Alright. And that one's going to go in that first one. How's that? How many bits did we use that were all sitting on my desk? So I'm happy with that. I hope you're happy with that. It was extremely easy. 4 envelopes, 5 pieces of book page, and 4 pieces of cardstock or something else. Hope you enjoy that one. It is finished. Look at that. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.